Okay, so you know the drill.
Hmm.
You're online, maybe checking scores, and then bam, $500 free pops up.
Yeah, or that 100% deposit match, up to $1,000 thing. You see them everywhere.
Exactly. Online casinos, betting sites, they just love throwing these huge numbers at you.
Mm.
Makes you feel like, free cash landing in your lap.
It really does. Super appealing.
But let's kind of pull back the curtain on this for a second. Are these bonuses actually, well, good for you? Or is there, like, more going on?
Hmm.
That's what we're doing today. Diving deep into these online casino bonuses to figure out, are they really worth your time? We're going to get into the details, the stuff they don't shout about in the big flashy ads.
Yeah, it's fascinating how like instantly attractive they make these offers sound. That promise of extra playing money, it really hits the mark.
Totally.
But you've got to remember, in this world, like a lot of others, what glitters isn't always gold. We need to look past that shiny surface,
Right.
understand exactly how they work and what they really mean for you, the player.
Okay, let's get right into the engine room of these bonuses. First big thing, and something you'll see mentioned, usually buried somewhere small, the wagering requirement.
Ah, yes, the wagering required.
Sounds a bit technical, maybe, but it's absolutely crucial, isn't it? So, in simple terms, what actually is a wagering requirement?
Right. So essentially, the wagering requirement, sometimes they call it a playthrough requirement. It just tells you the total amount of money you have to bet using that bonus money before you can actually withdraw any winnings you made from it.
Okay.
Think of it like a hurdle, a hurdle you've got to jump over before that free money. And any profit you make with it turns into actual cash you can take out.
Right. A hurdle. Let's make it real. Say you grab a $100 bonus, and it says 30 times wagering requirement.
Yeah.
What does that mean you actually have to do?
Okay, so in that case, a 30x wagering on $100 means you need to place bets totaling, wait for it, $3,000.
3,000 what?
Yeah. And it's really important. This isn't about winning $3,000. It's just the total sum of all your bets. You bet $1, that's $1 towards the $3,000. You bet another dollar, that's $2, all the way up to $3,000.
Got it. And here's where it can get even trickier, right? Because sometimes it's not just the bonus they apply this to.
That is a really significant point. Some places, yeah, they apply that wagering requirement not just to the bonus they gave you, but also to your own cash deposit that you put in to get the bonus.
Uh-huh.
So let's use that same $100 bonus example. If you deposited $100 of your own money to get it, and they apply the 30x to the combined $200,
Oh, boy.
yeah, now you're looking at having to wager a total of $6,000.
$6,000 from a $100 bonus.
Exactly. So that initial feeling of, wow, free $100 can it can fade pretty fast when you see the sheer volume of betting required.
Yeah, no kidding. It makes you feel like you have to keep betting to make use of it.
It taps into that. Yeah, that feeling of needing to get the value out of this free thing, sometimes pushing you to bet way more than you normally would.
Definitely put a different spin on things.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just how much you have to bet, but also what you can bet on. Are all games treated the same for these bonuses?
Another really key part. Game restrictions. Very often, yes, bonus funds come with strings attached about which games actually count towards clearing that wagering requirement.
So not all bets are equal.
Not at all. Some games might contribute very little or maybe even 0% towards that target.
Okay, can you give us an idea of how that usually breaks down? What contributes and what doesn't?
Sure. So generally speaking, slot games, bets on slots, they usually count 100%.
Right.
So every dollar you bet on a slot, a dollar comes off your wagering target. Simple enough.
Okay.
But then you look at, say, table games like blackjack or roulette, the contribution percentages there often just plummet.
Plummet how much?
Well, they might be down at 10%, meaning only 10 cents of every dollar you bet on blackjack actually counts towards clearing that bonus. Or sometimes they're just excluded completely. 0%.
Wow. So if you love blackjack, that bonus is basically useless for you unless you switch games.
Pretty much. It can be a massive frustration if you prefer those games. It kind of forces you to play stuff you might not normally choose just to try and clear the bonus.
So if blackjack's your thing, the bonus might as well say, for slots only. And then there are limits on how big your bets can be, too, even on the slots when you're using bonus money.
Yep, exactly. Maximum bet limits. Another very common condition you'll find tied to these bonuses.
Why do they do that?
Casinos usually put a cap, like $5 per spin or something, on how much you can wager while playing with bonus cash. It's basically a way for them to stop players making huge risky bets, hoping to get lucky, clear the wagering super fast, and cash out. It manages their risks.
Okay, makes sense from their side. But what if you accidentally bet more than the limit? Like you just forget or click the wrong thing?
Well, the consequences can be pretty serious, actually.
Mhm.
Even if it's just an honest mistake, going over that max bet limit can lead to the casino just voiding your bonus.
Voiding it.
Winning, they take back the bonus money, and any winnings you might have racked up while using it, gone.
Ouch. That harsh.
It is, and it's a detail that's easy to miss, when you're playing and maybe getting a bit excited. But the impact is very real and obviously very negative. Plays on that idea that the fun might make you forget the rules.
Man, it feels like there are traps everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you somehow navigate all that. You meet the huge wagering, you stick to the right games, you keep your bets under the limit, and you actually win a decent amount with the bonus. Are you home free then? Can you withdraw it all?
Not necessarily. There's another potential hurdle. Withdrawal caps.
Withdrawal caps. What are those?
Some online casinos, they set a limit on the maximum amount of money you can actually withdraw if those winnings came from playing with a bonus.
Seriously, even after you met the wagering?
Yep. It can be incredibly disappointing. Imagine, you did everything right. You played through maybe thousands in wagers, turned that $100 bonus into, say, a really nice $2,000 profit.
Amazing.
Yeah. But then you go to withdraw and you find out the casino has a max withdrawal cap of like $250 on winnings from that bonus.
Oh, no way.
Wait, that $250 is all you'll get? The other $750, it just vanishes. Poof.
Oh, that is brutal after doing all that work.
Yeah.
So thinking about all these hoops, the wagering, the game limits, the bet limits, the withdrawal caps, it really makes you ask, are these bonuses ever actually good for the average player?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Look, bonuses can offer some value, but it's usually in pretty specific situations and for a very particular kind of player.
What kind of player?
Someone who's like incredibly disciplined, someone who genuinely takes the time to read every single word of the terms and conditions and fully understands them. And they have to be happy, sticking only to the games that count 100% towards the wagering, and they need to be super careful managing every single bet size. For that kind of person, maybe it can stretch their playing time on a smaller deposit.
But that sounds like, well, not most people. What's the more typical experience?
The reality is, most people get caught up in the fun, the excitement of playing. They don't rigidly stick to all those conditions. Maybe the lure of a big win makes them bet over the limit just once. Or they play their favorite blackjack game knowing it barely counts towards the wagering.
Yeah, I can see that happening easily.
And honestly, that's exactly what the casinos are counting on.
Right. Which brings us to why. Why do casinos push these bonuses so hard if they're so full of catches? It's obviously not just them being nice guys. What's the real game plan?
Oh, it's definitely strategic, no question. These bonuses are a really powerful psychological hook, that free money headline. It's a massive incentive to get you to sign up, make that first deposit, start playing on their site instead of somewhere else.
A hook, okay.
They're tapping into that bias we have. You feel like you've got this freebie, so you feel compelled to use it, to make the most of it.
Makes sense.
And the longer-term goal is you'll get invested in their platform. Maybe you forget the exact bonus rules after a while. You keep playing, and eventually you're just playing with your own deposited money anyway.
So it's less about giving away free cash and much more about getting new players in the door and keeping them playing.
Exactly. It's fundamentally customer acquisition and retention. That's the core strategy. The wagering requirements, all those restrictions we talked about, they're just guardrails to protect the casino's bottom line.
Right.
They're designed to make it statistically more likely that the player will play through the bonus amount, and often their own deposit too, before they manage to clear it and withdraw any significant profit.
Okay, so if you're listening and thinking, wow, okay, this free money isn't so free after all, what are the practical takeaways? What should you absolutely do before you even consider hitting that claim bonuses button?
The single most important piece of advice I can possibly give is this. You absolutely must, always, no exceptions, read and understand the entire terms and conditions, the T&Cs, before you accept any bonus offer.
Don't just skim the headline.
No, don't just look at the big number. You have to dive into all the details, the fine print.
And what are the absolute must-check items in that often long, boring document?
Okay, key things to actively look for. Number one, the wagering requirement. Understand it fully. Is it just on the bonus or bonus plus deposit? What's the multiplier? 30x, 50x, more?
Got it. Wagering first? What else?
Second, check very carefully for any maximum withdrawal limits. Is there a cap on bonus winnings? How much?
Okay, max withdrawal.
Third, scrutinize those game contribution percentages.
Yeah.
Do the games you actually like to play count fully? Partially? Not at all.
Right, game contributions.
And finally, be crystal clear on any bet restrictions. What's the maximum you can bet per spin or per hand while that bonus is active?
Wagering, max withdrawal, game contributions, bet limits. That's a great checklist.
Yeah.
Now, what if you read those terms and this seems really tough,
Yeah.
or just, not worth the hassle? Could you just say no?
Absolutely, yes. Please remember, you can always decline a bonus. Don't feel pressured to take it just because it's offered flashing lights.
Okay.
In many situations, especially if the wagering is crazy high, like 50x or more, or the rules are just too restrictive for how you like to play, saying no thanks to the bonus is actually the smarter move.
And just play with your own money.
Exactly. You'll have total freedom over your own cash, no strings attached, no hoops to jump through.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Are there any types of bonuses out there that are maybe a bit less complicated, less restrictive?
Yeah, there are some you can keep an eye out for. Look for bonuses described as low wagering, or even better, though they're much rarer, no wager bonuses.
Low wagering, like what kind of numbers?
Some more reputable casinos might offer promotions with much lower playthroughs, maybe in the range of 5x or 10x. That's way more achievable than 30x or 50x.
Definitely. And no wager.
No wager bonuses, sometimes called keep what you win bonuses or free spins, mean exactly that. Whatever you win from the bonus funds or spins is yours to withdraw immediately. No playthrough required at all.
Wow, those sound great.
They are, but they are less common, naturally. But definitely worth looking for if you're going to play anyway.
Okay, great tip. So to kind of wrap this all up, what's the main message you want people to take away about online casino bonuses?
I think the fundamental point is this. Online casino bonuses can be a potentially useful tool, maybe extend your playtime, but only if you go in with your eyes wide open.
Meaning?
Meaning you fully understand all the terms and conditions, you know exactly what's required of you, and you have a realistic expectation about actually meeting those requirements. They're absolutely not guaranteed free money.
Right. Lots of strings attached, usually.
Almost always significant strings attached.
Okay. So even though we know the house always has an edge in the long run, being truly informed, really digging into how these bonus offers work, the knowledge itself can be maybe a powerful counter strategy. Something to definitely think about before you click that big shiny claim now button next time.